How you doing, Ellis, lad?
Yeah, I'm good, mate. Yourself? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, mate. Yeah. How
Ah,
are you?
yeah. Yeah, I'm good, mate. Good. I've been busy doing a bit of boxing myself and busy with work and whatnot. But yeah, I'm ready to talk some boxing with Porky, mate.
I seen your video. I've just done a video. I can't remember if it was Sean or Ryan, and I showed you your video. Took him out with a body shot, didn't you?
Yeah, yeah. It was just I've been ticking over in the gym for quite a while now, mate, and it was just a bit of an itch I needed to scratch, and that show was on, so I thought, yeah, why not? I'll jump in and dust off the gloves, mate. Dust them off. So it was a good night. I enjoyed it. So
Did you?
uh,
As long as you enjoyed it, that's all. That's all
yeah,
you can do. And Dennis always used to say to the guys, "Look, just go out and enjoy it. Enjoy
exactly.
it, because you never know if it's your last year." I guess.
Exactly, mate. Exactly. That's it.
Brilliant. Well, lots gone on since we last spoke. We'll back up a little bit. Rhino, what did you make of his fight with Macbedoff?
Um, yeah, the Rhino, he sort of got punched up for 12. Was it a 12 round? It was, wasn't it? Yeah, he got
Yeah.
punched up for 12 rounds. Realistically, that's all I saw, and he came out of it lauded as some sort of working class hero, didn't he? But for me, I'm much like yourself. I'm tired of the Rhino. I'm tired of the false promises of him being in the best shape ever and the fittest that he's ever felt, and then he turns up visibly not in his best shape. And for me, it's the output side of things that gets on my nerves. He just doesn't throw his hands enough, and he's clearly capable of putting his hands together because he can knock people out like he did with Fisher, but. Them bursts are very few and far between, aren't they? And it kind of showed again with a guy who's a bit higher level than Fisher, and you can't get away with it, can you? There's no hiding places.
What did you think to Rhino in ring afterwards? Do you think that was all he could say, really?
Yeah, the sort of I was beaten by the better man, and he's got to keep up the the humble man, boy next door kind of character going, doesn't he? Which is what has ultimately sold out that stadium and sold them seats because people buy into his is the boy next door kind of thing, don't they? But
Hmm.
yeah, for me, I'm just tired of it. Like I don't dislike him as a guy. I think he's honest enough, isn't he? But I mean, it's a results based business, and for me, he's not performing under the lights for me, and he hasn't for a long time. So
Is this where
yeah,
we're at, Ellis? Really, with boxing now? Unfit men saying they're in shape of their life, but it was £6 lighter than previous fight that he lost to Fisher. Although I thought he nicked it. Is this where we're at now? It's like gimmicky. Do you think this is boxing 101?
yeah. I think that is where we're at now in 2025, 2026, and beyond. It's a landscape where you don't have to be at the top of your game, but there's still an avenue for you to make a lot of money, which wasn't necessarily the case in yesteryear. It was, yeah, don't get me wrong, there's always been monstrous money in boxing from the Ali days, even before that, Tyson, Holyfield, Lewis, all these kind of ones as well. But it's always been at the top upper echelons of the game, hasn't it? But now there's an avenue for obviously social media's come into play as well. So as long as you've got a social media presence and you can either take the villain role, which is going to put bums on seats, or you can take the humble role, which is going to put bums on seats. There's an avenue for you to make money. And listen, good luck to people if you can exploit it. You're probably doing better than me,
Yeah.
aren't you? But it's a bit sad for the purists and the hardcores, and it's going to get us wound up because we want to see people getting rewarded on merit, which obviously doesn't always happen, does it?
Yeah. Uh, do you feel that he's owed some paydays though from Eddie Hills, from the good ideas he got fighting for peanuts? He got 12.5 grand for Orta, 20 grand for Dylan White before stoppages and that. Do you feel that he's owed? He's had some good ideas, hasn't he?
Yeah,
Ortiz, Dylan White, Yoker, Price,
yeah, I
Macbedoff.
do get that angle. He definitely took. peanuts for fights that he probably wasn't qualified to be involved in, really, didn't he? But and from that standpoint, yeah, you do want to see him sort of come away from it with a few quid in his pocket. But at the end of the day, you make the decision yourself ultimately to go into them fights, and you could put it down to poor management or mismanagement or not having the right people around him. But just because you've taken a beating, does it automatically mean that you deserve a reward? I don't know. I'm not too sure it does. But if you can prove that you deserve it and you've earned it, then yeah. I just think with Dave Allen, it's not like he's gone through the ranks, has he? He's not gone through the area British, English British level, and you could say like, all right, now he's really earned that big sort of world title fringe kind of money. He's just kind of got them big paydays off the back of talking in front of a camera on his YouTube, hasn't he? But
Mm.
if that's the way you got to go about it, then fair play. But yeah, I don't think he's earned his reward on merit on what he's done with his fist. Put it that way.
Okay. Do you believe he was fit for that fight? We'll finish off on that.
Well, in boxing, there's fit and there's fit, isn't there? He was fit enough to navigate the 12 rounds, but that's not the same as I'm feeling fitter than I've ever felt. So it's one of the things. Was he fit? Was he fitter than your average man walking his dog? Yeah, of course he was. He's a professional boxer, isn't he? But for me, it's like sparring partner mode, isn't it? He was there to take a hiding, and he can just about manage it. But for someone who's, by all accounts, people who've seen him at his best in his sparring, he's meant to be a good sparrer, isn't he? He's
Mm.
supposedly quite elusive and hard to hit, but he
Mm.
didn't employ them tactics, did he? He literally just walked in onto every 1-2 thrown by that Makhmudov. So it was a shame to see that when he's supposedly got a bit of ingleness about him, and he's supposed to be a bit hard to hit, which wasn't the case.
He has that cross-arm defence, I've noticed, like Kenny Norton.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Mm.
But he had a lot of face forward defense in that fight against Makhmudov. He was just, I don't know what it was. He was just absorbing shot after shot,
You
weren't
mean
he?
it were more Kenny Everett?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay. Moving on then from the from Rhino the Boxer, Mr. Humble YouTuber, promoter, trainer, cutman, whatever, manager, to the pundit. Would you say that's, jack of all trades, master of one? Would you say?
yeah. So it's weird. It might sound like I was just slagging off Dave as if listen. I don't hate anybody. Or I haven't got time to invest that much energy into something. But going on to the punditry side of it, yeah, I thought it was brilliant the other night on
Mm.
Talksport, and I think a lot of hardcores will agree with that. He said everything to a T that we were all thinking, and I thought, do you know what? Fair play, Dave. That's a breath of fresh air because, and you could see it were a breath of fresh air because the faces of the other two and three that were around him, they were like, "Oh man, no, what's he doing? He's blowing our cover here."
They went silent, didn't they?
Yeah, they really did. Yeah, they tried wrestling it a few times, didn't they? Like saying, but he fought his heart out and whatever, going down that sort of angle, but he was just having none of it, was he?
No,
Um,
no.
yeah, it was good. It actually made me laugh as well.
Super Beans commentary on Ben Eubank Jr.
Yeah, I mean, Adam Smith's commentary on anything now, and I'm glad he's getting called out by quite a few people actually. Even Simon Jordan called him out.
Mm.
It's he's sensationalizing everything, isn't he? It could be two cats having a fight on your front lawn, and it'll make it sound like it is literally Hagler Hearns every time, doesn't he? Um, which it's it's
Mm.
what he's employed for, but it's getting a bit tiresome now, isn't it? And
Mm.
yeah, it's especially when it's garbage as well. A lot of these cards, they're not living up to it, are they?
No.
It's stinkers after stinkers, but he somehow tries to sell them as like you say, bangers, but it don't really. I think we can see through it now, can't we?
How many more fights is Eddie Hills going to put on pay per view and lift our legs. We know we had Cleverly Bellew two, didn't we? David A. Bellew one and two. There's been others, haven't we? We can go on forever, can't we? The Joshua pay-per-views and you know, and then this Ben Eubank thing, and now Ben's talking a third one if money's right. I mean, where's it get? Where does it end this now? Is Eddie just over in crumbs up?
Yeah, yeah, you could say that. Yeah, it does sort of seem that way. It's pay-per-views lost its status, hasn't it? It's you can put anything, any sort of drivel on as pay-per-view now, and like you say, you could argue that the first Conor Ben fight it was pay-per-view. It had all the intrigue, it had the egg slap, it had everything, and we hadn't seen it before. But then the rematch for me, it didn't seem to drum up the same sort of interest, and I think that was largely down to the fact that it was a pretty conclusive outcome. And Chris Eubank won that fight quite clearly, despite all the clauses and whatever there was. And for me, it was a closed chapter. Um, that second one, it's just an indictment of where we're at in the sport. It's rematch room, isn't it? Well, not it's not even just solely match room. There's just rematches for rematches' sake these days. And for me, rematches should come into play when there's controversy, or maybe not even controversy, but if there's a banger of a fight and it was a swing a couple of rounds one way, and you're like, I could see that again because I could see the other person winning, then yeah, it justifies it. But this one was just nothing more than a massive money spin. That's all it was, really. Neither of
Do
them are
you,
world level, you
mm,
know.
do you feel that when there's rematch clauses, it's whatever suits Eddie Hearn? I mean, we had Bute Frotch. Frotch wrote him off. Oh, we don't need a rematch. We've already done it. We'll get away from Bute. Then we had John Coffey against Dubois. John Coffey against Joshua. John Coffey wrote Joshua off, and instead of Eddie taking it, they went, "Oh no, we got wrote off. He will stay away from him." Fisher got wrote off against Rhino. They never took that rematch. Did they? What's the point in putting him in? It's like they're picking and choosing if they want it or not, innit? Do you see where I'm coming from?
Yeah, yeah. No, there's a good point. Yeah, if a rematch is written into the contract, it should be you're having it whether you like it or not.
Yeah.
That's the way it should be. But I agree. It does seem to be a case of if they win in impressive style, we move on, or if we get a whooping and we don't think we can get the get back, it's we go in a different direction, and that's just
Yeah, we go around the
yeah,
outside and we'll meet down the line, which what people smart people in the industry are saying Rhino and Elmer Fudd are going to meet down the line when Rhino's got mileage on clock and Elba's got his tail back up. You see where I'm coming
yeah,
from?
yeah. I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, you could see that happening.
Mm.
Yeah,
It reminds me a little bit of Meldrick Taylor against Chavez, where he boxed Chavez's ears off, and Richard Steele gave one of the worst stoppages ever known to man, with 2 seconds left, wasn't there? And
yeah,
they let Taylor get a bit more miles off clock, get a belt, and then they got Taylor at the right time, didn't they? So
yeah.
it's a bit like that. If you're the big dog promoter, you've got the upper hand. Okay, but where does Ben go now?
Well, he's talking about it's like he's trying to angle for the easiest route to a world title possible. He's talking about a Barrios shot at 147, but it's like, hang on a second, you don't campaign at welterweight, despite what he keeps trying to tell the public. And what sort of it's like what Dave Allen said, really. What makes you the world champion elect
Yeah,
off
Dave's
the back
right.
of that? What how it's a mockery to people that are actually in them sort of mandatory positions or in contention for that 147
Mm.
title. How can measly little Conor Ben come on the scene and say, right, Barrios, me and you now, it's the world title time? It just doesn't sit well with me. Um, but then obviously there's the question of he's been campaigning at middleweight, hasn't he? So can he even make 147, and will he be the same Conor Ben? Not that he's any great shake at the minute, but will his power carry down, or surely he needs to feel a fight at 147 before he goes in for these WBC titles that he thinks he's going in for. But we'll see, mate. We'll see.
well, they're talking April for Conor Benn next out, but that'll be 4 year without a knockout. And since he fought at 147 April 2022, he's had two fights at 154 and two at 160. I don't believe it's healthy for him to jump back to 147. And plus, I don't know how you feel about this. I'm getting bored and tired of hearing about Crusher Ben being a 147 guy. He's not been a 147 guy for 4 years, right? Now, do you remember? I know I've mentioned this before, but do you remember when Duran and Leonard and Tommy Hearns were going through the weight divisions, right, back in the day? 4 year down the line, they never said, "Well, I'm a welter." You know, when they were fighting for world titles at middle, they never said, "Oh, I'm a
Yeah,
welterweight now," because they grew into the weight, didn't they?
yeah, they got on with it. Yeah, there was the odd occasion where they'd go up a weight too far. Like I think, like Sugar Ray Leonard, he beat someone at like heavyweight to pick up a title, and he just said,
Donny
"No,
Lalonde.
yeah, Lalonde said, I'm not doing that again." But that's just you knowing your body, isn't it? He wasn't a natural massive light heavyweight. He had a taste of it and said, "No, probably not my weight," and that's fine. But we're talking about world title. They were cleaning up world titles at different weights, which is a different. Shouldn't even be mentioned in the same breath as Conor Benn. But um, it seems to be that they're angling for an easy world title, and I really don't like that saying. Like, the easiest world title is probably Barrios, and it's like, listen, Barrios is a world champion. What's to say that that's a walkover job for Conor Benn? He might go in there and get beat, and then what? Do you know what
Yeah.
I mean?
Mm. It's an
Yeah.
interesting one, isn't it? When I look at fighters that have campaigned around 154, and I look at Ryan Rhodes, Jamie Moore, Matthew Macklin, they must look at people like Crusher Ben and 154, 160 kind of thing, and think, my God, if we'd have been born a bit later, do you know what I mean? Kind of thing for the
Yeah,
financial rewards, because the same Ben's, had 20 million out of the job, aren't they? So far,
yeah,
and he's not got a belt. He's not won a belt.
yeah. Unbelievable stuff. Unbelievable. Yeah.
But okay, well, Kell Brook's out in Feb, and people are saying that it could be Kell Brook against Crusher at 154. What do you think to that?
Well, first of all, I was a big Kell Brook fan. I used to go over to
Mm.
Sheffield, watch his fights and stuff like that. So, and I followed his career closely, and I genuinely think he was a brilliant fighter. So, for me, I don't like it when fighters carry on too far. That being said, he was that good, Kell Brook, that I think, even looking at his last fight. So, if you go the Kell Brook that beat Amir Khan, I still think that Kell Brook would beat Conor Benn, but it's whether he looks like that now. I don't know. We'd have to see what he looks like in this little run out in Saudi Arabia. But yeah, I'll be Team Kel. Put it that way. I won't mind listening to all of the lights one more time if it's that one.
Could you see Amir Khan and Crusher getting at it?
Oh yeah, see we can't. It's that leaves a bit more of a bad taste. I think Con is just reeks of desperation and money. That for me, he'd probably just get flattened and not care, not come in good shape. But um, that being said, though, Con of yesteryear, it's night and day with Miles. Conor Ben couldn't dream to be a fighter that Amir Khan was in his prime. But at this stage, no, I don't think there's much legs in that.
No. Uh, Joseph Parker, he failed the sniff test. What
Yeah,
do you think? What he failed the drugs test, obviously for cocaine. Uh, what do you make of all that? He's come out and said he's innocent and he's cooperating with the authorities. What do you make of that?
it's just a bit confusing, really, isn't it? I have to give you credit to be fair, Porky, because I think the last one of these I did, it was just on the build up to that fight, and you was Team Wardley, and I was adamant that Parker was going to win. So fair play on that one. But it was, yeah, the cocaine scandal that's come off the back of it. It's like I don't really see the benefit of taking cocaine unless he's lost his head or something. Um, I always associate cocaine benders with, getting off your head and you're trying to escape reality. You know what I mean? I don't really think it's something that you do to get a benefit before a heavyweight title clash. Do you know what I mean? So it is a weird one. Cocaine's more likely to get into your system by accident than something injectable, isn't it? I get that, but I don't know. I don't know. It's just a bit of shrouded with a bit of mystery that, and we'll have to see what the findings are. But yeah, the only reason I can see him taking a sniff before a fight is if he's lost his head, mate.
Do you feel that he might come out with the same excuse Liam Cameron came out with to Big Ron? So, I've been handling ticket money, Ron.
Yeah, see,
You got in
that's
me
what.
paws, got in me paws, Ron.
Yeah, that's what I mean. You've got an angle with that one, haven't you? The stuff like what Conor Ben had or whatever, these drug cheats that are injectables or whatever, you haven't really got a leg to stand on. But with cocaine, you can kind of be like, yeah, I was handling ticket money or whatever. I don't know. My mates were getting on it and I, whatever, picked up a drink and it had some sniff on it and it somehow got in my system. But I don't know. It gives you an angle, but we're not idiots, so we're more than likely if you've got it in your system, it's because you've you've hoovered it up your nose, and that's probably what has happened. But why you would do that with so much at stake, that's a question for him, isn't it? So yeah, don't know.
Okay. Big John Fury's come out and he wants an all in with Big Joe Egan. Will they get it on? Because they don't get along.
Yeah, I've seen that gaining a bit of traction online. Not because my eyes or ears want to see or hear that sort of stuff. I'm not interested in the slightest into. They're irrelevant to me, them guys. I don't want to see 50-odd-year-olds talking about fighting. The fact of the matter is, when you're 58, touching 60, whatever, I don't care if you was Muhammad Ali. I don't care if you were Mike Tyson. You're finished. You're completely finished, and you got no need to be anywhere near a boxing ring or any kind of fight because you're probably going to do yourself serious harm. So it's all poppycock to me, mate, and it's all a bit cringe. But with John Fury, it's just whilst it's cringe, it's also just distasteful. He's effing and blinding, and he's no role model to his family. He's a real letdown as a guy. Really, if I was related to him, I'd just find him embarrassing. Um, and it's like playground stuff, isn't it? It's like they haven't matured. It's like they're still children in their head. But that Egan fella is coming out of it looking a little bit better because he does sort of hold himself a bit with a bit more decorum than John Fury. But they're both Muppets, mate. To me, to me, they're both Muppets. So not interested in it.
Would you buy a ticket to watch it on Misfits? Yes or no?
No, not a chance. Not a chance. Not interested, mate.
Okay. Well, the big news: Anthony Joshua against Jake Paul. Super Bean said today that Jake Paul is on the rise and he's younger, fitter, and he's a big puncher for a cruiserweight. And Anthony Joshua's not the same Anthony Joshua, and made the best man win. Do you think Super Bean's just a splinter ass?
Yeah, there you go again. He's just doing the his salesman pitch, isn't he? But listen, it's historically I've never been the biggest fan of AJ, and people might think I'm a hater when I was saying that I wanted to see his downfall. It's not because I hated the guy. It's just because I could see the fraudulent world titles that he'd picked up and the way that he'd been managed very cleverly. But that aside, he has been a world level heavyweight, and I'm not an idiot. He's a fantastic finisher, and when he puts his hands together, he's dangerous for anybody. Even though he got beat off Dubois in his last outing, I still think he'd be more than capable of. If you chuck AJ in there with someone like Dave Allen who walks forward, he could probably do serious damage to someone like Dave Allen. Um, but Dave Allen would do serious damage to Jake Paul, so that just shows where I think that those levels are in that fight. AJ, if he turns up for a real boxing match, would put Jake Paul in hospital within 30 seconds. That's just the facts of the matter. So if anything other than that happens, we know that the fix is in and it's got all sorts of stipulations in the fight. But that just shows where we are. It shouldn't be happening. It's dangerous, and it shouldn't be happening. But whatever, money talks, and it'll sell. Will I watch it? My eyes will probably end up watching it because it'll be a big event, won't it? But I'm not going to be like in a mad rush, to get home to watch it. I'll inevitably end up watching it because I'm a boxing fan, and my eyes will end up seeing it on the internet somehow or another. But
It's on
um,
Netflix, isn't it?
yeah, there you go. It's on Netflix, so I'll probably end up watching it. But it's not something that I'm intrigued by. Put it that way.
Do you think the Rhino fight with Macmillan, it we're all set up for Rhino, home advantage, you beat him, you get Joshua, you get £1 million. Do you think they were looking at doing that, even though Rhino's ranked 102 today? Do you think they would have done that if Rhino would have beat Macmillan to push that on us?
Yeah, I think they would. I think they'd have been like, right, okay, he's beaten a top because I think Makhmudov was top 10. He was ranked, weren't he? You beat him, and it's like, oh, Joshua's been out for over a year, so he needs a top 10. Oh, look who's in the top 10 now, Dave Allen. Oh, they used to spar. Listen, as finished as AJ is, you can say he's absolutely finished. He'd do serious harm to Dave Allen. That's just my opinion. I think he'd do serious harm to him, and
And
he
what
would
about
do to
Jake
him.
Paul? What will they do to him? All
Yeah,
desperate dancing.
yeah, yeah. It's dangerous. It's dangerous, mate. Yeah,
I got some stick last couple of days because I said that Anthony Joshua's career is based on who, not who he's fought, who he hasn't fought, and these are the guys that Eddie's not put him in with. Tyson Fury, we've been talking about it 15 years nearly. Wilder, they've been talking about that for 9 years, and then you've got David Price, Luis Ortiz, and Zhang. They were signed by Eddie to obviously to keep Joshua away from them. Wardley, no mention of Wardley. He's a world champion now. Why don't they chase that belt down? Dubois
yeah,
rematch and a Toma. It's not looking too good for him, is it? He's very fragile, I think, mentally. Do you? I mean, he's now
yeah,
on his eighth trainer, Lomachenko. I mean, he needs Lomachenko for Papa Lomachenko for Jake Paul. I mean, has his head gone? Do you think has he overthought things? Or I mean, Spencer Oliver's come out jug ears and he said, "Oh, he's a big bit. Anthony Joshua's a businessman and all that." But why don't they just say he's a greedy cunt
yeah,
and a
yeah.
coward and a coward?
Yeah, there's been a lot of navigation and avoiding fight. I mean, you've named about seven there. I mean, you could even probably throw Joe Joyce when Joe Joyce were running through people.
Never
He
mentioned
didn't.
his name, did he?
Yeah,
Juggernaut Joe. His bone density six
yeah,
times stronger than the Bionic Man's, according to
yeah,
Scam Jones.
yeah. AJ weren't in the mix for a fight with him either, were but yeah, it's I have to agree with you. His career was very well navigated, and they've done really well financially out of him, haven't they? But I think the hardcores, it became a burning desire to see him get beat, and it's one of them. I'm not one of these kind of guys that's malicious. I haven't got any malice towards AJ. I don't know him from Adam. It's just I wanted to see the right thing, and when he got exposed by Klitschko initially, I was loving that. But he managed to pull it back, fair play, in the back and forth tear up, and then when he got beat by Andy Ruiz, it was just like I told you so for all the hardcores out there, weren't it? So. But listen, that being said, that doesn't change the fact that he's been world level. I'll give him that credit. He's been a world level heavyweight, and his stratospheres above someone like Jake Paul. So yeah, yeah. But yeah, going back to Wardley, now that he's got that strap, you
Via
know,
email.
yeah, via email, which I don't necessarily agree with, but um, you'll see people queuing up to fight him now. I definitely,
I don't see it, do you?
I think you will. I think now that there's a belt, I think you will see people queuing up to fight him. It's a dangerous night's work for anyone, but you'd fancy your chances because he gets hit, doesn't he? You'd fancy your chances against him rather than Usyk. Usyk, you're on your way to a hiding, aren't you? And it's just for money. But with that, you could actually come out with the belt.
Do you
if
think
you're
they'll
any good.
put Fury in with Wardley?
Uh, it'd be a good fight, wouldn't it? It'd be a good fight.
Will Bricktop try and keep it in house, that belt now?
Yeah, yeah, most likely, especially with it being WBO. Yeah, I think they'll try and keep it in house. Will Dubois work his way in there? I don't know. He's meant to
What
be
about
in.
Lawrence Okoli? Nobody seems to mention him. He's still ranked high, very high with WBC.
Yeah, a collie. Yeah, but this is the thing. They all seem to be ranked highly, but in different organisations. Why can't it always be? We want them in the same organisation, so they end up fighting each other, don't we? But I don't know.
Will
Yeah,
Derek call out Fabio Wardley? Derek War Chisora, his 50th fight. Does he deserve a shot at Wardley? Yes or no? And if he does, will he get out alive against Roadman Wardley? Because Wardley is a fucking roadman, isn't he?
yeah, yeah. No, he don't deserve that fight. I mean, let's. I know we're quick to laud Wardley and give him all the credit, which he does deserve, especially where he's come from and stuff. But I just need to make the point that I don't think Wardley deserves that belt. So for me, Wardley's first defense of that belt has to be one that you can say, right, okay, now he's a world champion because he beat it. It has to be a serious first defense for me. I don't want to see him against a pushover because it'll just be like Nathan Cleverly all over again, like a pretend champion. I want to see, Dubois or something like that. And then you can go, all right, okay, fair enough. He has got a stake in holding one of the legs of the world championship belt, but just off the back of beating Parker and then getting it emailed to him. For me, more has to be proven to hold that belt. So we'll see what happens, mate.
Why do you think Usyk vacated?
Um, I don't know, to be honest with you. I mean, for me, I think he should just chuck them all into the bin and get retired because he's 2-time undisputed at that weight, isn't he? Um, I think if you got the opinion of 10 randomers, well, not randomers, people who know boxing to a little bit, and said, do you think Usyk would beat Fabio Wardley? We'd all probably say, yeah. So that's like, for me, he's got nothing to prove. He beats everyone. Um, he's just that much better. So retire before you become old overnight and let these other guys have a go and fight out for it. So yeah, I think he should relinquish them all. But why he's got rid of that WB, I don't know. Maybe because they were hounding him about a mandatory that might not have been physically ready for. But listen, give him the right training camp, give him the time that he needs, and he'll beat Wardley standing on his head. That's just the facts of the matter, and that I like Wardley. So do you know what I mean? It's just he's that much better, isn't he, Usyk?
Yeah. Okay. That's about it, really, mate. Nice to have a
Yeah,
catch up with you.
yeah, yeah, Sam.
Hope you're
Yeah,
well.
yeah,
Uh,
good.
we'll get you on again, Ellis, yeah?
Yeah, sure. What's the
Keep up
boxing
with
this weekend? What is it this weekend?
Rocky Fielding fights, doesn't he? Rhino's got his debut show in Doncaster. There's one on in Barnsley. Rocky Fielding fights tomorrow at super middleweight for the first time in 7 years in Saudi.
It's
Uh,
the American one, isn't it? It's the odd one, isn't it?
yard fights as well. I'm going to cover that tomorrow, obviously. But who have you got? Well, I've got you on here. Yard Benavides. I've got Benavides on
Yeah,
points.
yeah. Benavides, yeah. I think, like you say, I think Yard is tough enough and got enough pride to probably see out the final bell. But I think it'll be a beating. I think it'll be a beating. But I like Benavides, yeah. Probably a Benavides unanimous.
What's happening with Callum Smith? It's all gone quiet on the Western Front. Ladies and gentlemen, the Smiths, the Beatles of boxing.
Yeah, where do you go with Smith? I thought that performance against Buatsi was a career best. I thought it was a brilliant fight that from both men. But Callum Smith came out smelling the roses, and I thought he boxed really well. But he's just on the shelf now, isn't he? So if it's world championships he wants, there's three people that have them: Beterbiev, Bivol, and Benavides, the three Bs. And I think they all sadly beat Callum Smith, don't they? So where are we at now? I don't know. Um,
Well, if his best win's Boatsi's not a world champion. So what is his career been, Callum Smith's?
mm, yeah, it's a one-on
Callum Smith
draw.
against Yard is a good fight for me.
Yeah, yeah, I'd agree with that.
So, one last thing then. Willie Hutchinson, Ezra Taylor. I've got Willie Hutchinson. Who you got?
I think it'll be a competitive fight, but I think, as you say, Willie Hutchinson will have too much for him. He's too unorthodox. He's quick and he's experienced and he's well schooled. But don't be. I think we'll all be pleasantly surprised with Ezra Taylor. I think he's got that dog in him, from what I see. But yeah, I can only see a Willie Hutchinson win, really.
Yeah, I'm Team Willie Hutchinson, mate.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay. Well, listen, I'm going to get off now. I've just the
yeah.
doorbell go. I hope it's not Big Malk come to strangle me with his giant bedroom. So, all right then. Well,
Yeah,
listen, you take care, Ellis.
yeah. You too, mate. Been
Cheers,
good
mate.
chatting. You take care, pal.
Bye. All that were Ellis from Blackburn. Women love him. Men don't want to fight him. He can punch like. So that's about it, really. Thanks for liking and subscribing and leaving a comment. Max, I'm still not talking to you. Don't keep texting me, you stalker. Pop, pop, bang.